What is the most unsettling unsolved mystery that you're aware of? Someone keeps shitting in the holes at the local golf course. Been going on for the last 20 years. Bastard has never been caught. Old neighbors of ours had their 18-year-old daughter disappear. She left work one evening and never made it home. No body was ever found either. I heard the police have a suspect but not enough evidence to do anything more. The Beaumont children, 3 young siblings that disappeared in 1966 from Glenelg Beach. Mr. Cruel attacked 3 kids in Melbourne in the 1990s with 2 dead, if I can recall, vanished after killing his last victim, presumably out of fear he'd be found out. At what point did the brain realize its own consciousness? I find it fascinating. How Scientology still has tax-free status in the USA. Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty of sex trafficking, but somehow all the people she trafficked to are free to go. Another one is of the Springfield 3. A woman, her daughter, and daughter's friend went missing from their home in the middle of the night with no signs of struggle or major evidence left behind. It's been so long since it happened, so the chances of this case ever being solved is meager. The disappearance and short-lived reappearance of Johnny Gorsh. He disappeared one day while delivering newspapers. Police did very little to try to solve the crime. 9 years later, his mother reports that Johnny showed up on her doorstep and explains that he had been held in slavery for the last 9 years. Authorities basically say she's making it up and have done no investigating. MH370 will always be top of that list for me. I want to know where it is and what really happened to it. Where Shelley Miscavige is. I have 3 I'm very invested in. 1. Who murdered Joseph Zarelli, aka the Philadelphia Boy, formerly known as the Boy in the Box. 2. What happened to missing Oklahoma teenagers Ashley Freeman and Loria Bible, and who murdered the rest of the Freeman family. And 3. Who murdered the Short family of Henry County, Virginia. When I was 6 or 7, I had a very soft cushiony house slippers. I only got to wear them a month or so, and one of them disappeared. My poor mom and I checked every corner around the house and couldn't find it. It just vanished, and I was devastated because I was well aware we couldn't afford a new pair. For years I mourned for it, and when I was 13 we moved out. Even then I was hopeful to find it. I searched around the empty apartment but no luck. I don't know where it went, and still at the age of 26 I try to figure it out, the mystery of lost slipper. Probably aliens abducted it. IDK. The Australian Prime Minister that went for a swim and was never seen again. The Black Dahlia, it's always haunted me. The universe. Like why? Why are we here? Why anything? Like you could break it down to the laws of physics, say this and that will take place. But why? What is the reason behind everything? Shrug, light skin tone emoji modifier #hash. How the fuck the guy from the Counting Crows got so many hot 90s stars to date him? At some point a creature on the planet Earth had the first idea. Not just a reaction to stimuli, but a literal idea to act. When and what, we will never know. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 disappearance. Madeleine McCann's disappearance. MH370, Asher degree Andrew Gosden. The author of My Immortal. West Memphis 3 murders. I feel so bad for those kids. Damien has been trying to get the state to test DNA to prove who the real killer is, and the state is fighting it. Sad that the kids died, and in such a brutal way. And the 3 kids that grew up serving time in prison, for nothing. Luckily the 3 are out of prison, but the murderer is still out there. The HBO documentaries were amazing. Who put Bella in the WYCHL? Mark Dutroux easily. This MF acted not alone. Judges swapped, witnesses murdered, you name it. Who actually killed Elizabeth Congdon in the Glensheen Mansion murders? And did her daughter Marjorie have a hand in it? One night my husband and I woke up hearing a woman screaming, "Help me!" He rushed to the window. We're on the second floor and saw a car drive past with a woman in a dress hanging on the hood. The car sped through the intersection by our place and careened off with her screaming on it. We called the police and told them which way it was going and then jumped on our bicycles and rode around the neighborhood to see if she'd fallen off. Never found her. Never found any news of her. I've always wondered what happened to her. That was over a decade ago. What's below the ocean? We only discovered 4 of the ocean water's Irk. John Benet Ramsey. Not most unsettling per se, at least compared to when a child like Asher Degree or Andrew Gosden goes missing, but certainly mysterious Brian Schaffer's disappearance. It would be good for his people to finally have some closure. The Villisca Axe murders. An entire family and 2 girls who were friends with their children got massacred within about 10 feet of each other. Then the killer covered all the mirrors and had a meal in the kitchen before leaving. Also left a slab of pork at the foot of one of the beds. Still not been solved. There is a mystery jar of spaghetti that showed up in the lunchroom at work. We reckon it might have been left behind by a contractor, but can't be sure. Who killed Missy Beavers? I have to say Emanuela Orlandi. What's the real reason Pope Benedict XVI resigned? Elaine Park, a girl that went missing from my high school. She disappeared one day and nobody ever saw her again. Police found her car with all her belongings on PCH, but never found her. Pretty FD. The Phoenix Lights. A set of lights moved across the sky in silent V formation on March 13, 1997 in Phoenix, Arizona. Thousands of people saw the phenomenon. The military initially said that it was caused by flares released during an Air Force operation, but they later withdrew this explanation, admitting that no military exercises were taking place in the area. The Dyatlov Pass incident, the way the bodies were found, the injuries, 2 bodies were missing eyes and 1 without tongue. D.B. Cooper. Fucking magnets. How do they work? What happens when we die LOL? That we're either alone in the universe, or we're not. Chris Kramers and Lisanne Froon. This case gives me chills every time. Why did the Zodiac Killer and Jack the Ripper stop killing? They were never caught. They could have kept at it. So what made them stop? 1. MH370. 2. Andrew Gosden. 3. Lars Mittink. Arguably, not as unsettling as others, but it still gives me goosebumps. It's widely believed that he was last seen alive, a few months after he disappeared. He most likely reacted badly to the antibiotic and, as a rare side effect, suffered from a psychosis. Why prestigious positions are mostly filled with idiots and people listen to them without a simple logic check. What happens after we die? Near-death experiences are the closest we have to an answer, but near-death experiences could simply be the subconscious recognizing what is about to happen and creating a dream-like hallucination of what you feel the afterlife is going to be. The Cave Paganica Knife Mystery. Why I can't sleep. Technically the Idaho 4 murders are still unsolved. The Kaylee Anthony case. It's technically still unsolved even though her bitch mother definitely did it. The only mystery there is why they let her get away with it. Well, someone link me a Quality Mysteries channel on YouTube. There's a Lane Bryant store by me where multiple women were executed and the guy was never caught. Why I can never plug the USB into the port the right way around the first 2 attempts. Someone needs to tell some of these Redditors that their quips aren't funny at all. Why my socks are boo. The Sodder children. IDKY, but I heard this story years ago and it always stuck with me. I wanna know what happened to them. I'd like to know who really killed Steve Branch, Michael Moore, and Christopher Bias. 3 innocent kids were murdered and 3 more sent to prison for 18 years. I remember watching the 3rd season of True Detective and seeing the similarities and realized I hadn't thought about the case in years. Hopefully they're eventually able to find out what really happened. Why I'm single. Mr. Cruel. He will haunt me till my dying days. Madeleine McCann was a toddler who vanished from her hotel room while the parents were with their friends downstairs drinking. As far as I know, she hasn't been found. This was from 2007. Josh Gimmond.